top is where we going. Look into the future.
Who is only with her because he is rich. And, you know, the kind of culture today breeds that because people do not date for marriage. And most of the time, men are like, oh, how many girls can I pull this weekend? You know, and again, I'm not saying all, but we got to realize the culture is very unhealthy. And it's kind of leaves women in a lose-lose situation. You know, you either participate or you don't. And then you have to find somebody that is, you know, not participating in this mainstream and, you know, being with people every weekend, not caring about who the person is that they're with, not remembering the name of anybody they've been with for the last whoever knows how long. And so, you know, this red pill and MGTOW thing, it really breeds a culture of, you know, just turn and burn, screw them. But
before I let her continue, I'm gonna tell you why she's wrong with that. We don't really teach to turn and burn, especially MGTOW. MGTOW, we actually MGTOWs. We actually tell men to not have casual sex like that because it could end up being dangerous. Again, and maybe going on the MGTOW side, having casual sex again, you can get a woman that you don't like pregnant. Just imagine a man getting a woman who is abusive, who will put him on child support, who will lie on him. There's some men who've died. This recently, there was a black man who was killed by his baby mama's boyfriend, because they were trying to do the daughter exchange. He was supposed to take the daughter. I think he was supposed to take the daughter for the weekend, and something happened. The boyfriend killed the baby's father. You know, there's some instances where some women call the police on a man because he hasn't been able to pay child support. Sometimes men are in jail because of unpaid child support. So, again, MGTOW teach men not to have casual sex like that because it can be dangerous. Again, it could be you can have sex with a woman and then the woman decides, she didn't like that, so she can, you know, blame you for, sexual ambiguities. Look at the story of Asari Aziz, where the woman tried to say that he committed sexual ambiguities. Then he gave his side of the story saying that he was going to try and sleep with her. She retracted, and he was like, because they were in the middle of sex. They were in the middle of it. And then she was like, she was interested in the middle of it. So he was like, okay, he stopped, called the Uber, and, you know, she went home because he thought she didn't feel comfortable around him. And then she came up with the story talking about Asari Aziz, you know, this sexual ambiguities on him. Now that's kind of a tricky area because we don't know. Again, women are the gatekeepers of sex. Sometimes a man can get the consent to sex, and then the woman will decide, in the middle of sex, I'm not interested anymore. And then, but a man's mindset, when we get that consent, and then we're in the middle of it, we're in the, you know, we're trying to do our thing. You know, we get confused because we're like, I thought we were going to, you know, get down to it. You know, some men might not like that, and some men might just respect that, okay? But again, you can still, either way, you can still get blamed for that. You know, and on the red pill side, they don't necessarily say turn and burn. Yes, they do say that a man, you know, if you go and you're able to pull women, that's fine, that's great. But the whole purpose of being a red pill is to learn women nature and to operate in reality when it comes to women. So for example, say that on route you and I are dating, right? And then I find out that you cheated on me. You know, if I was a blue pill man, I might get mad at you. I might get angry at you. I get so mad that it might turn to violence. You know, but me being red pill, I find out you cheat on me. We're not married, you know, or we don't have no children, so there's no commitment. And I'm just like, damn, you know, I might get a little mad, but I'm just like, well, I guess it's over. You know, it's time for you to leave. I knew the risks when I decided to date you, that you potentially might cheat on me. So It's over. We're gonna have to break up. Now, some men decide to stay with their woman when she does cheat. I actually have a friend right now that's going through that situation right now with his wife. She's cheating, but he's still with her. But again, me being red pill and then knowing that, again, with my first example that you cheated on me, I'm be like, it is what it is. Either I didn't have nothing, or it's I learned woman nature. I learned that's what y'all is. I still took the risk. I know what y'all is. I still took the risk. It's my fault for dating, a woman that might cheat on me. I'm gonna have to move on. And that's what we teach on the red pill side, is to not get emotional of what women do. We'll learn what women do and operate on that. Again, how what she described earlier when she said women want to deal with a rich guy, and that's because it's a thing that women have called hypergamy, and women didn't have that for years because they look for decades, since the beginning of time, because women look for men who can provide and protect. That's our job as men. That's another thing that red pill and MGTOW communities teach men, is how to become men, which is to provide and protect. Women look for that. And no matter what sense of the word, no matter what if she's a boss babe, if she works at McDonald's, no matter what a tax bracket that she's in, she's always looking for a man to protect and provide. Now, again, the reason why women would take a rich man is because it's easier for a man to protect and provide if he has a lot of money, because money is the way society is nowadays. A lot of things is controlled by money. So if a man has a lot of money, it's a lot easier for the man to protect and provide with that. And that's just her instincts as well. However, women's standards are so high, they want a man who takes trips. They want a man who can buy them food. They want a man who can romanticize them through buying flowers and gifts and all that type of stuff. They want a man who can please them sexually, no matter what. They're trying to find that perfect man, so they pay attention to the guy that every woman wants. Now, because when she's talking about men has bodies that's astronomical, that's really not true. Only 10% of men get 90% of women. The 90% of men, a lot of them get barely any attention from women. Women only chase the man that other women are interested in, and you can say it's not true. It is what it is. Men know this, and that's what the red pill community teach men, that if you're not part of that 10%, don't expect that many intentions from women. Those guys in the 10%, they always have a roster of women. That's why they always seem to, and Kevin Sims actually say this, those type of men don't cheat, they explore their options. So if a woman doesn't want a man who has options like that, date an average man. However, women don't want to date an average man. They don't want to date a man that only makes $50,000 a year, that they have to work with, they will have to build. They want a man in the finish line. So unfortunately, they will chase after those guys who has 4 or 5 different women they're talking to right now, and then be the 6th woman. Look at the guys like Future or Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon about to have his 8th child. Why? There was 8 women who seen this guy have 7 different children, and they still went with him, have sex with him, and still had his baby. Because again, women are the gatekeepers to sex, and they're the ones that are allowed to come into this world. So yes, some men might have a lot of bodies, but again, women allow them to have sex with them, and they know about their history. Sierra knew about Future. She still had his child. I think he just recently had a baby. She knew about the other women, but yet she still allowed him to have sex. And that's the problem, because these women will chase those men, and then they leave the other 90% of men in the dust. And then the people wonder why men are going their own way, because we get overshadowed. But let's continue with the video.
If this is the behavior coming from our leaders, wow, what does that mean for society? Because women look to men and we follow their lead. And
I can stop her right there. That's not true. That is not true. Women do not look for men to leadership. You can see it in social media. You can see it right now. Women feel like they are superior to men nowadays, actually. And because if it was true that when women look to men as leadership, they wouldn't be 304s. There'd be a lot more married women, and there would be a lot less divorce. A matter of fact, as a black man, black women look at black men as weak. You can actually see that against social media. They say that, you know, we're weak. They want to say that we're scrubs. I don't want no scrubs. You know, they want to say stuff like, who wants the world? Girls. They want to say stuff like, I don't need a man. And that's not just black women in general. They want to say things like, I don't need a man. For example, whenever a man does try to be in the leadership position, the women would say things like, he was abusive. He didn't allow me to do what I want to do. They would say things like that. They think when a man exhibits leadership, it's abuse. However, when a man allows women to do whatever she wants, she loses respect for him. And that's another reason why these women will cheat and cause divorce, because yes, women do want men as leaderships, or designed for men to be leaders. But a lot of modern women nowadays, they want to tell men that they want to tell men that they don't need us. So unfortunately, a lot of men, we really don't care about what y'all need anymore. That's why MGTOW, we don't care about being y'all leaders anymore. But let's continue.
You know, at the end of the day, a woman doesn't want to be the leader, doesn't want to lead the man, you know, hey, you man. I mean, hey, some women, you know, they do hold the pants, but most feminine...
Before I let her continue, she's right. Women don't want to be the leader. But again, and even the one that holds the pants, even the one that are designated as a leader, they don't respect the man. And that's what leads to divorce, because they don't want the man, they don't respect that man. The man's not being the leadership role. And because that man's not in that leadership role, she's like, what do I need him for? I'm gonna kick him, I'm gonna let him go. I'm gonna treat him, I'm gonna treat him like he ain't nothing. And then I'm gonna divorce him, or break up with him, or cheat on him. And unfortunately, that's what happens. And that's what a lot of men in the red pill MGTOW space, they see that. Now, in the red pill space, we teach men how to be those leaders. We teach men how to actually be men. In the MGTOW space, we still teach men how to do that, but those men say, bump all that. I'm not even trying to risk dealing with none of that stuff. I'm gonna just avoid the risk altogether. I'm gonna still be the man, but I'll be the man for me. And then again, also women are conditional, have a thing called conditional femininity. They always want to say, oh, I'll be the feminine to the right man. But that's not right. You're supposed to be feminine, period. A lot of women are acting masculine. A lot of women feel like they're the boss. A lot of women feel like they hold the pants in the relationship. Women, they don't want to be subservient. They don't want to be submissive. And a lot of women have taken submissive and making it as a bad term. It's not. Men want a woman that's submissive, that will be the helpmate, that will be behind us. And then let us lead. We don't have to prove it to y'all. We don't have to do nothing like that. I mean, obviously we do have to prove it. Not saying we don't have to prove it. We do have to prove it. But in terms of initially, you just have to be feminine. You have to be submissive. Even if the man's not a good leader, you have to be submissive enough for the man to lead. Period. But a lot of women, modern women nowadays, they feel like, oh, I gotta do it on my own. Oh, I don't need a man. Again, I don't need a man. I know I spoke about this before, but that turns men off. We don't want that. If you don't need us, fine. We'll go somewhere else. We'll go someplace else where we're needed. Let's continue.